I'm here to do another book haul. I haven't done one in a long time. And I'm really, really, really sorry about this terrible graphics of my webcam. I'm in the process of trying to find a new camera because my old one broke. If you have any recommendations for cameras, leave them in the comments. These books, they're accumulated basically from April and May. So, because my birthday was in April, so of course I asked for a lot of books. So I have quite a few here, but I'm going to try to go through them quickly. Where do we start? Here's one. Love Letters to the Dead. This is by Ava Delara. It's about this thick. It's hardcover. It says on the inside flap here, it begins as an assignment for English class to write a letter to a dead person. Laurel chooses Kurt Cobain because her sister May loved him, and he died young, just like May. Soon, Laurel has a notebook full of letters to the dead, to people like Janis Joplin, Heath Ledger, sorry about that, Amelia Earhart, and Amy Winehouse, though she never gives a single one of them to her teacher. She writes about starting high school, navigating her choppy waters of new friendship, learning to live with her splintering family, falling in love for the first time, and most important, trying to grieve for May. But how do you mourn someone you haven't forgiven? It's not until she's written the truth about what happened to herself that she can finally accept what happened to May. So it sounds really interesting to me. I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and it immediately caught my eye, because right before my birthday, I went through Barnes & Noble, and I went through the young adult section, and I just wrote a huge list of any books that caught my eye and seemed interesting. This was one of the first ones to catch my eye, and the cover is interesting. And then I think it just immediately caught my eye because my own experience of losing my cousin in September. So I felt like immediately that I could relate to this story. But even if you haven't lost someone close to you that you know, I think you can relate to this because she's not just writing letters to people she knows. She's writing letters to, famous people like Kurt Cobain and Heath Ledger, people she's never even met before. So this next book is, hang on, these are a series here. So I'm going to present them as a series. So a while ago, I got the Vampire Diaries book series. I've been watching the television series for a while now, and I've been a big fan of the television series. The books, I did a review on my book blog. I'm going to leave a link to my book blog in the description. But I did a review. I said that I was really disappointed. I thought that Elena, the main character, was just extremely annoying. And it really was not a good book. But then on Amazon, I noticed some books were for sale. They belong to the Vampire Diaries. But these are all Stefan's diaries. Stefan is also a main character in the Vampire Diaries. And some of the plots sounded interesting. Stefan is one of my favorite characters on the show. So I decided that I would give these a chance. I think they were like 50 cents a piece or something like that. Like, really cheap. I couldn't beat the price, so I didn't get the first book because I thought the first book didn't even sound interesting. So I got the second book. This is Stefan's Diaries, Volume 2, Bloodlust. And it's about this. Should be a quick read. Volume 3 is called The Craving. Again, should be a really quick read. And Volume 4 is The Ripper. And again, a quick read, a very quick read. They smell good. Do you guys do that? Do you smell your books? I was in the bookstore the other day, and I sat right down on the floor, like looking at the books, and the owner comes over. I thought I was going to be in trouble. He tells me, "Oh, I bet you like love books and you must come into bookstores a lot." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's true," but I'm thinking, how does he know that? And then he says, I can tell because you're sitting down, right down on the floor, and making yourself at home. And I was like, oh, yep, well, I do. So, do any of you guys do that either? Like, when you go into bookstores, do you just make yourself at home and sit down on the floor? Or am I the only one? This book I saw in a book haul, but I can't remember what book haul it was. It was a long time ago. It's by Stacy Cade, and it's called The Ghost and the Goth. And basically, the ghost, she's a real popular girl at school, but she dies. And, her ghost comes back to haunt the goth, and I think they fall in love in the end. Should be interesting. Seems kind of like, like a teen chick flick type thing that I'm not usually into, but I'm being willing to give it a chance. It should be a pretty easy read. But still, I gotta take the stickers off of some of these books. This Side of Salvation. This is another one when I went into Barnes & Noble trying to make a birthday list of books. This is another one that caught my eye in the young adult section. It says, "My family wasn't always this unraveled disaster. When I was a kid, we were like any other Philadelphia mainline residents. Rich, rational, respectable. Suburbanites who embraced the city. Registered Republicans who voted for Democrats. We even went to an Episcopal church, where it said you don't have to check your brain at the door. We were part of the modern world before it was good to us. Because it was good to us, sorry. And once in this house, we were 5. That's what the back says. The cover is just really interesting. It's hard to see, but there's all these little words, like, in here scattered around, and, most of them say the rush. And then down here it says salvation, like they form into this salvation. On the inside cover, you get a better description. It says, everyone mourns differently. When his older brother was killed, David got angry, as in fist meets someone else's face furious. But his parents, they got religious. David's still figuring out his relationship with the higher power. But there's one thing he does know for sure. The closer he gets to new girl Bailey, the better, brighter, happier he feels. Then his parents start cutting all worldly ties to prepare for the rush, the divine moment when the faithful will be whisked off to heaven, and they want David to do the same. David's torn. There's a big difference between living in the moment and giving up his best friend, varsity baseball, and Bailey, especially Bailey, in hope of salvation. But when he comes home late from prom and late for the rush, it's to find his parents have vanished, David is in more trouble than he ever could have imagined. So, that seems pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited to read it. It's a decent sized book, hardcover. Ashball. There's several of these books in a series. This is the first one. I've been wanting to read it for a while, so I ordered it off of Amazon, and because I got a gift card for Amazon, and I bought a few books. This was one of them. It's a pretty big book. I like big books, and I cannot lie. No. So this is Ashfall by Mike Mullen. It's the first book in his series. On the back, it says, under the bubbling hot springs and geysers of Yellowstone National Park, it's a supervolcano. Most people don't know it's there. The caldera is so large that it can only be seen from a plane or satellite. It could be overdue for an eruption, which would change the landscape and climate of our whole planet. For Alex, being left alone for the weekend means having the freedom to play computer games and hang out with his friends without the hassle from his mother. Then the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, plunging his hometown into a nightmare of darkness, ash, and violence. Alex begins a harrowing trek to search for his family and finds help in Darla, a travel partner he meets along the way. Together they must find strength and skills to survive and outlast an epic disaster. When I was a little kid, there were only, I was a big reader as a little kid too. But there was a time period in my life, I believe around 4th or 5th grade, where these types of books, like, seriously interested me. I remember reading books just like this, and I just thought they were so fascinating and, like, the greatest thing ever. So I do think this one will be interesting, and maybe I can reminisce a little. Maybe I'll remember why those books interested me in the first place. My favorite books to read are actually horror books by Stephen King. I also am a huge Anne Rice fan. I recently have become a huge Fitzgerald fan. I'm reading The Great Gatsby. This is another book, actually, that should be in my haul. The Great Gatsby. I'm reading it. I saw the movie. I loved the movie. So then I decided to read the book because I got it at this used book sale, and it was like $2 or something. I was like, wow, can't beat that price. And I'm so glad I picked it up. I really am in love with this book. I'm so in love with this book and Fitzgerald's writing. Really, he was so talented. There's just, people don't write books like this anymore. So I highly recommend Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, any of his books. Brilliant. So, yeah, those are some of my favorite books. I write romance. I'm writing a Frankenstein story right now, which doesn't sound very romantic, but it does have a romantic twist in it, but most of it is not. There's a lot of other, like, supernatural and paranormal elements going on in it, and I've been getting more into that. Like, I want to start writing more things like that, with, like, witches and zombies and all kinds of fun stuff, ghosts. So, alright, so speaking of the Frankenstein novel that I'm currently writing, here's another book I picked up, and this is called Cold Kiss by Amy Garvey. This book I already did read. because I couldn't wait. Like, I devoured this book very quickly. And the reason why it relates to my Frankenstein story is because in this book, a girl brings her dead boyfriend back to life. She's a witch of some type, and she uses magic. I'm not gonna go too much into details in case you haven't read it yet, but I would recommend this book. There's a sequel. I hear a lot of bad things about the sequel, but there's a lot of good things about this book. So I definitely do recommend this book. It's really cool. The writing was really good in it. I like the characters, and definitely check this book out. I saw it in a book haul once too, that I can't remember, and that's the only way I even find out about it. So that's an amazing book as well. So the next book is the last book, I should say. This is The Fiery Heart by Richelle Mead. This book is the fourth book in the Bloodlines series. I got this book as soon as I could when it came out, and because I read the Vampire Academy series. This is a spin-off of the Vampire Academy series. I was always a big fan of Richelle Mead's writing, so I decided to pick these books up, and they've been pretty decent. I have read this one, and I would recommend this series. My book haul is complete. This is my book haul box where I keep all the books I need to haul. So, and it's full right now. So, have you read any of these books that I talked about? If you have, let me know what you thought of them. Are there any books you'd like me to check out and maybe haul? Are there books that I've mentioned here, or even books I haven't mentioned that you'd like me to review on video, on webcam? Then leave in the comments. If you have any questions for me, any comments about this video, or about the future videos or books or anything, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm going to look at every comment and get back to you for whatever you need. I'm going to leave some links in the description. I'm going to link my book blog. Plan on the next video, depending what happens. My next haul will probably be maybe July. So until then, yeah, definitely leave comments and questions and let me know what books you want reviewed or whatever, or any questions about writing, stuff like that. Just leave them down below, and I will talk to you real soon. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye.